Hi, welcome back, you beautiful souls. And you ghouls and gals, to the second series of Halloween special. Now, I think it was about a month or 2 months ago. I talked about this. Yeah, it was about 2 months ago. I talked about this on Discord, and like I said in my previous video with the True Alpha Deku, this is one of those things that you just won't see on YouTube, but you will see in Discord. My apologies, I just realized I didn't put a link to the Discord in the previous video. I will go back in studios and put that in. Um, but basically, we're going to take Taichi, the cheat magician, and Rin, his childhood friend, and later on girlfriend, and possibly eventually wife. But basically, this is going to take them after the events of Cheat Magician, and they're prepping to get ready to be sent back home. So Taichi, he finds like this weird book that he can't like open no matter what he does. Even like using his reinforcement magic, he physically can't open this book. So he's like whatever. So then like his door opens and it's Rin and she says, "Hey Taichi, you ready? We're finally going home." Yeah, it's just I found this book. It's weird looking and I can't really, no matter what I do, I can't open it. We'll bring it with us then. After all, we were able to keep what we're holding. So Taichi and Ren finish up. Like Taichi finishes up packing with Ren's help, and they make their way to the monastery. As they stand in the magic circle, and Ren puts her hand on Taichi's shoulder, just so she will be able to be transported, because Taichi's really the only one that's able to be sent home. So they are going. So basically, the same premise of how Ren's going to be able to join him is like what happened when he got transported to the cheat magician world. The same thing is going to be happening because of the mixture of the magics involved of Taichi getting transported to the Shield Hero universe combined with them getting sent home. Basically, the summoning for the Shield Hero is going to somewhat hijack the teleportation of them getting sent home in this. So Taichi, he's standing in their circle and he finally is able to open the book and he's like, oh, like he's looking through it and he's like, spear hero, sword hero, and then and it's like, oh, hero, that's interesting. Seems like it's about magic. And then he gets to a section about like the shield hero, and it's pretty much blank. And mind you, this is one of those artifacts that Taichi found, and it was odd looking in the fact that it was a little heavier than what a normal book than what an object of its size should be. But for Taichi, it's not really that much of a. It wasn't that heavy to Taichi, but like a normal person, you'd be like, you would feel this. It's basically, those big encyclopedias that you see in things that are basically like a foot thick kind of thing. It basically has that kind of weight to it. So as Daichi's looking through this, and the mage like begins like the mage that they found to be able to send Taichi and Rin home, and I'm going to say that like unlike I don't know how I didn't really read too much of the light novel years ago, so I'm not sure how many years had passed between them initially arriving to when they um eventually are able to go sent home, or they decide to stay. My memories on that isn't too great, but that doesn't really apply for this series. So basically, Taichi and Rin will have all of their abilities, and I mean all of them, in the Shield Hero universe. So yeah, few people are like, that's they're like they'll be accused of hacking. Yeah, this is kind of a joke. What if like Taichi is basically like it's kind of like the Cheat Magician series 2 thing coming on, because in Cheat Magician, after Taichi learns to actually utilize his magic and he gains his summonings and everything, he's kind of a continental, like a small country, low continental buster type character in a series where most people are like large building. Well, humans at least. So at that, like, the mage yells out, "What's going on? Something's wrong with the magic. Something's happening." At that, Ariel, sensing something's happening with Taichi that shouldn't be happening, she just appears. And Ariel is the wind spirit that Taichi has a contract with, and it has been shown that she doesn't need to be called by Taichi to like appear, and actually caring for Taichi, similar to what Rin does, but not in that carnal way. That it's weird. Like, she does love Taichi, but it's not the same type of love that Rin has for Taichi. So she appears, and she basically grabbing onto both Rin and Taichi and engulfing them in her wings. As this happens, a bright light engulfs the three of them, and lo and behold, like, they appear, and even the people in the Shield Hero universe are surprised. They just see these white wings and coming out of like the back of this person, and they're like, what? And like, a few of the people from the church are there. They're like, an angel? What? What's going on? And even the other heroes are a little taken back by this, because like initially they were like, I think I just thought of something. Oh my god, we have two characters named Rin. Oh boy, this is going to get confusing. Rin. Let me actually look up the Shield Hero Rin's full name. Sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure that I had the Shield Heroes Rin's last name correct. It is Amaki. And the Cheat Magician Rin's last name, for those of you who don't know the series too well, her name is Azuma. So we'll have Rin Amaki and Rin Azuma, like, in this series, and it's going to. I honestly, like, my bad on this. I honestly didn't think about this while I was scripting, and it didn't really cross my mind. But I can actually do some very funny things with this. And so the other heroes are standing there, and so then everyone's kind of staring at this, and they hear a voice, and it's like, and it's Ariel's voice, and she's like, Taichi, Master Taichi, it seems like these people, they have some weird weapons, and then there's these people that look like priests around us. I don't think we're in any danger. Okay, Ariel, you can go. And then as soon as Ariel like moves her wings, like, all of a sudden, like Rin, Azuma, the female of Ren, and Taichi kind of stand up, and they begin to glow, and all of a sudden everyone can hear level 100 unlocked, level 100 unlocked, level 90 unlocked, level 90 unlocked, level 70 unlocked, level 90 unlocked, level 100 unlocked. For like forced class upgrade. Archmage Rin Azuma. Shield unlocked. Summoner's Shield. And then the light dissipates, and everyone in the room is just freaking out because standing in front of them is the shield hero with a weird looking shield that is vorpal. Like it seems like it's there, but it's not at the same time. And then after seeing this and then hearing Master Taichi, they look at the shield hero very, very puzzling, and after a few moments, and then they're like, wait, how is it possible that someone else was summoned? And then they're like, wait, that they seem powerful. But that's neither here nor now. So Taichi just kind of looks around, and he notices that he sees like the bow, the sword, and the spear, and he's like, oh my god, these three are like have the weapons that are like that were in this book. And he pulls the book out and he's like, you would be the spear hero, if I'm not mistaken, and you're the sword hero, and that would make you the bow hero. And that means, as Taichi looks down at his arm, he's like, so I'm the shield hero. And then he turns and looks at Rin, and his girlfriend from him, not the sword hero. He's like, Rin, it kind of seems like we have another world to save. Rin just kind of goes, oh my god, we were finally going to go home, Taichi. Oh, our parents must be worried. It's been several years since we left. Like, I wonder what our world's like now. Would we even be able to return to the time that we left now? And everyone's kind of confused about what the shield hero just said, because the shield hero is supposed to be ignorant of like information, and then they heard him say, looks like we have another world to save. So after some minor instructions and the other heroes saying that they're not going to do it for free, Taichi just kind of says, like, why are you guys demanding something? Like, you were summoned for like the heroes. Like, obviously they're going to be able to compensate us in some way. Though me and Ren, we really don't need it. We kind of like making our own way. So, and at that, Rin Amaki's like, wait, Rin? Her name's Rin? And Taichi like looks at him and is like, yeah, what of it? And he's like, my name's Amaki Ren. And Azuma Ren, she says, we have the same name. Like, Ren's a female, is a woman's name from our world. And this is kind of concerning, so they kind of say, well, regardless, heroes and companion, the king requests like your thing. So they make it to the king's like hall and everything, and introductions are made. They formally introduce themselves, and then Rin's like kind of chuckling like when Motoyasu introduces himself, and Rin just kind of sneers, and Rin like kind of nudges him. It's like, it's not nice, Taichi, to be talking bad about people like that. And both Ren and Taichi here, like Ariel, like is speaking to him. It's like, Taichi, what's going on? This isn't your world, and this isn't the world we just came from. And Taichi kind of telepathically communicates with her that it seems like we haven't. It seems like I was summoned to be the hero of another world. And Ariel's like, well, at least it seems like our contract is still intact, Taichi. And so, and before, and then, like, Taichi's like, pardon me, my king. Pardon me, king. Was it, you're the king of this land, correct? And King just says, and then Multiosity tries to like go up to friend Ozma, and she just kind of pushes him away and then kind of grabs Taichi's arm. And the king is like, "Oh yes, my assistants tell me something weird happened with the summoning contract. You young lady, why are you holding on to the filth of the shield?" And Rin is taken aback by them, and so is Taichi. And Taichi's like, they are like, okay, so they don't like the shield. So the proceedings go, and then during the talks, Taichi is like talking to the other heroes, and Rin Ozma's there too, and Taichi says, so where are you guys from? And they all say Japan, and then Taichi says, he ponders a bit, and then Rin speaks up because she is smarter than Taichi. Like, canonically, she's like she's that manga and anime trope of being the goddess of high school. Like she's an A-list athlete. She's like top of the class. So she says, Taichi, you should just say it outright. And Rin says, you three, we're probably from different worlds. And it's like, wait, how do you know that? And Taichi says, well, me and Rin, we just recently got done saving another world from, like, a sorceress. And we were getting sent back to our world, and then we got summoned here. So we know for a fact there's at least 3 different worlds, and by process of elimination, it's most likely we come from different Earths. So they, like, all the other heroes are like this, or like surprised about this, and then they go into details about like who the president is and all this, and both Taichi and Rin says, well, honestly, we couldn't tell you who the current leader of Japan is because we've basically been gone for several years from our world. And through the talks, like they find out that Ren and Taichi are actually a thing, and then Ren Amaki, and then I'm gonna use when, okay, so in this series, when both Rens are present in the same at the same time, and there's conversation with those two being involved, I'm going to use their last names, just so I don't mix up my words and everything, and I'm slowly going through like parts of my notes and actually writing this down. So Amaki, he finally asks, it's like, so what's the deal with you two? Why are you two so like so close to each other? And Ozma says, well, you see, we're kind of dating now. We've known each other since we were kids, and well, when we got transported, we went through some things, and it took a lot for us to finally admit our true feelings towards each other. So the night ends, and the next day, the party selection is held, and Rin, he notices no one is like behind him. Well, obviously Ozma's going to be behind him because that's her boyfriend and like their childhood friends. So obviously Rin, she will obviously go with Taichi in this. This is it's pretty obvious. So then the king is like, and the whole thing with Malty happens where she tries to go with it, and Ren's like, no thanks. I'm pretty sure me and Ren here, we can probably solo these waves. And the king's like, huh, that's preposterous. And then Ren just kind of he he does something. I'm not sure if they can do this in Shield Hero. I'll check my notes, and in the next video I will do this. But then he basically he transforms his shield into a summoner's shield, and he does a chant, and then he says status display, and it shows his part, and it shows Taichi. It shows his name, Taichi. Shield class, Shield Hero, level 100. Party members, Rin Ozma. Class, Archmage, level 100. And everyone in the room just goes, what the hell? They're already level 100? And the other heroes are like, cheats. Like cheat hacks, like basically accusing him of being a cheater and all this other stuff. And Rin and Daichi just basically whatever. Like we're gonna do our own thing. Well, Your Majesty, we don't really. It's nice for the little startup funds, but I don't think we'll need much. As Rin begins to think, and then she says, wait, Taichi, it says my status is an Archmage. That means... And then Taichi's like, yeah, and my shield is a summoner shield. And my contract with... Wait, Rin, try summoning it. And Rin says, staff, come forth, and... this staff comes forth, and the moment she grabs it, everyone can just feel this intense magical pressure fill the room. And Rin goes, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't think about it usually. So she basically limits her power, and everyone's a little scared. So Ren's like, so just by what the shield is, I most likely can't wield any weapons. Dang it. And then he thinks, wait, I wonder. He tells Ren to go to 10. And everyone's like, what do you mean? And then Taichi is like, no, wait, Rin, go to 100, go to 25. I'm only going to use 2. You should be able to withstand this. So as Rin, is standing there, Taichi just takes the shield and he begins to glow red, and so does Rin, and he just throws a punch with the shield, and Rin just basically catches it, and as they do that, like the wall behind Ren basically gets destroyed, and part of the building outside does too, and everyone's just like, oh shit. And this is beginning to make the king and a lot of the people concerned. So Taichi's like, well, we should probably get going, Ren. And oh, Your Majesty, we won't need any other funds. You can use whatever you would be giving us to fix this. And as like Ren and Taichi leave, like people begin to say, he truly is the devil with the shield, which doesn't go unnoticed by a particular person, entity, whatever you want to say. Now, the priest have told the king about like this person that apparently is a servant of the shield, and he's thinking it's like he has a slave contract in with like an angel. What the hell? He truly is a demon of the shield. So Taichi and them make their way through the town, and they make their way to like the blacksmith and cannon, and he's like, "Oh, welcome, young travelers. What may I do for you today?" And Taichi's like, "Well, we need some clothing, and we don't really need weapons, but we heard from like a few of the towns. We heard around town that you're the best blacksmith in town, and we figured, well, maybe you have the best armor in town." So with half the money that they have, like they do get some decent armor. Albeit they don't really need it, but just in case like they don't have the reinforcement magic, they have some protection. Rin gets like a cloak, a mage's cloak, and also like some light leather armor. Taichi the same gets some light leather armor and like not the same armor that Naofumi has, but he does get like a little bit better armor. I would say he does get some chainmail armor, but not the exact one, like less. And then the blacksmith, he noticed the shield, and he's like, "Oh, you're the shield hero, if I'm not mistaken." And Taichi's like, "Yeah, it seems like me and Rin were pulled to this world to save another world." And the blacksmith's like, "Oh, well, what do you mean?" And Taichi and Rin basically explained that before they got summoned here, they were actually getting sent home from another world that they had helped save. And the blacksmith's like, "Oh, so it seems like you two will be able to handle the waves for us." And Taichi's like, "Yeah, it pretty much will." And then Taichi's like looks up at the wall, because Taichi and Ren did spend the previous night kind of staying up late and talking, and then Ren also explored like his shield, because he's not an idiot himself. He is smarter than Naofumi, I would say. And also, spending years in a magical world, he would have some comprehension. Like, he has better comprehension of what magic is. So he was kind of testing things out, and that's why he was able to do the status display. So he then so they explain their situation, the blacksmith, and then they make their way out. They spend the day like just kind of walking around the city, because apparently like they're already past like whatever level And rumor does spread that the shield hero is way stronger than the other cardinal heroes, and this infuriates some people that want to actually kill the two. But good luck with that, and you probably shouldn't mess with Taichi in this. And it's not just Taichi and Rin you have to worry about, it's more so a greater spirit that loves our protagonist. So they meet up in the bar, and unlike unlike some other Shield heroes, I believe Taichi and Ren, I believe they were like 16 or 17 when they first got summoned, and I'm gonna say they spent at least 2 years in the cheat magician world. I'm just going to say that they spent like at least 2 years, because even if it took them a year to do whatever they do in it, it took them a little bit longer to find like another spatial mage so that they could be sent home. So that being said, they meet up with people, and Rin, like they do, like end up getting like drinking, and the things with Melty have like the thing with Melty, like basically she basically got them drunk, and so the accusation still happens, but so the events where like they have like their equipment stolen and everything. Unfortunately for people, Taichi did store like at least like Rin's magical cloak in like his inventory when they sleep. The same thing with like a few of their belongings from like the other world, like their school uniforms and stuff like that. So they get woken up, and when the guards burst in, they see Rin kind of snuggled up to Taichi, and she's in her underwear, and they kind of blush and quickly close the door, and they say, our apologies, ma'am. The king, your presence is demanded in front of the king." Taichi's like, "Huh? Demanded? Wait, hey, wait, some of our stuff's missing." "It doesn't matter. Get dressed and come out." So they're escorted, and the whole thing with like the accusation and Melty like saying it, and Taichi's like, "What proof do you have?" And then he says, "In any case, why would I go for someone like you when I have Ren here?" As like he kind of grabs Ren's hand, and it's like, me and like, if anything, I think Ren's a lot hotter than that woman, which makes Ren blush a little bit. And then they like go, and then they bring up like the penalty for something like this is death. And if you want the shield in before the king can finish that, a certain spirit appears and is like, "My master would never do something like that." "Oh yes, the angel that is a slave." And then Ariel says, "I'm no slave to Master Taichi. We have a contract with each other." And this is kind of shocking everyone. And then she says, "And if you're saying that you're going to kill my master, then I'm going to rip you apart." And before like Ariel can, because wind starts forming in the area, and everything begin like, Rin finally like kind of grabs Ariel, like Ariel's like arm, and says, "Ariel, no, don't do it. It would cause more problems." We can destroy this kingdom. I know that. Hell, Ren herself could level this kingdom. Ariel says, "Oh, I'm sorry, Master." And Taichi then says, "Yes, Ariel, she's not a slave. She can do what she wants. Like, we have a contract. She's a summon. Whatever. If you guys want to do this, we'll just let this damn kingdom burn to the ground in these damn waves. It doesn't seem like you people are worth saving." And with that, the king's like, "How dare you speak to me? I'm the king." And Taichi's like, "Some king you are. You're believing what? Like a woman just because what? She's your daughter?" And at this, like everyone's is like, "Oh, wait, how do you know that?" "Well, it's pretty obvious she's your daughter. You guys, she looks kind of like you, and well, like the type of clothing she was wearing doesn't seem like what the commoners wear around here, so she's obvious nobility." So, and this is when Ren pipes up, and it's pretty. So, by process of eliminations, your Majesty, that would make her the princess of this kingdom, and that is why what? Just do you have something against the shield? Yeah, obviously you guys have something against the shield, and Ariel's like, "Taichi, just let me blow them away with wind. We can settle this right here, right now." Moriyasu's like, "You dare threaten?" And before Moriyasu can finish a word, he gets hit in the head with a water bullet. And Rin, this is now like Rin is starting, Ozma, she's starting to like actually release a lot of like magical pressure, and everyone is freaked out. It's like, wait, she didn't even chant an incantation. And Taichi's like, "Whatever, we don't have time for this. Obviously, we all weren't supposed to be summoned to the same area, correct? You broke like rules about summoning heroes. From my limited knowledge, the only hero that was supposed to be summoned to this kingdom was the spear hero." And with that, they make their way out, and King's like, Don't you dare walk out on me." And Taichi just turns around, and then he begins to glow red, and he just stomps his feet, creating like a crater in the ground, and he's like, You in what army would even be able to stop me?" As they just walk out. So things progress, and even the blacksmith does the same thing. And then Taichi says, I didn't do it, you idiot." And well, in his like chipper way, he says, "I didn't do it." And the blacksmith's like, "Yeah, I figured. You two are a couple, right?" And Taichi and Ren's like, "Wait, we never told you that." And like, just like, this old man can see when two young lovebirds, and both Taichi and Ren kind of blush at this. So they spend like the day basically going outside, and occasionally like people like in the kingdom can hear like large explosions going off, and it isn't really them hunting monsters, it's them actually testing out the full extent, like testing out their power. Then so I'm gonna stop here and explain something. A couple months asked, and people are like, "What about Raftalia?" Well, in this, I honestly couldn't see why Rin or Taichi would why Taichi would need to go to the Slayers. But I would say in once someone in Discord brought this up, they could just be passing by the tent and hear someone coughing, and this is just to serve plot points so Raftalia just doesn't die and we don't kill off the best girl Raftalia in this. And this is how I'm going to do it. And this is totally not for any storytelling purposes, but just plot convenience so I can actually save Raftalia. So after a long day and they're sweaty and everything because they found out that their power hasn't diminished at all. They're still at the same strength that they were in the other world, and Taichi seems to be a bit stronger than what he was. And Taichi, so they're walking back and they're walking through town and they pass by this tent and they hear a small girl kind of crying and kind of coughing, and they kind of jump into the thing and they see all these cages with things in, and the slaver oh, the shield hero, I figured you'd be coming by here at some point. And Taichi's like, what's the meaning of this? Why do you have a young girl locked up? And the slaver basically said, calm down, Sir Shield Hero. I provide a service that's less tasteful for most, but a necessary one in this world, and a perfectly legal one. Taichi holds his anger in. Ren's very upset, and she points to Raftalia. How much for that one? And Slayer's like, that's not a good slave. That one's not long. And then Taichi yells, pipes up, and he's like, what do you mean? What do you mean even if she's not long for the world? You didn't answer our question. How much for that one? And so they bargain, and Taichi ends up just saying, whatever, I'll give you 20 silvers for it, and don't even bother. Don't even. So they do the whole slave crest, and then Taichi's like, how much would it, is it possible to get that removed? And the slaver says, why would you? Then they could betray you. And Taichi's like, I don't think it'd be an issue. Well, since I've already done it, and the ink's very expensive, and I'm gonna say, I'll give you a discount since you took off stock that I made a good profit off of stock that I probably would have lost money on. I'll give you a half discount. 50 silver pieces. And Taichi's kind of spits, and Rin basically walks over and picks up the girl, and Raftalia is amazed because she heard what these two were talking on, and they're saying, I can't believe they would enslave such a little girl. So they basically leave the city because they were going to shower, so they find a creek, and Rin basically gets undressed and undresses Raftalia and basically gets her bathed. And Taichi has learned that he is able to create medicines and stuff. And hell, he even asked Ariel to come out, and Raftalia during once Rin gets Raftalia cleaned and they get dressed again, and Raftalia goes to go put on her rags, and Rin's like, what are you doing? Those things deserve to be burned. And Rin just points her staff at the clothes, and they get engulfed in flames. And then Rin just pulls out her school uniform, and she's like, it's a little big, but wait a moment. And she basically uses her magic to, and I'm not saying she can't do this in canon, but she can do this in Fate just for plot convenience. She shrinks the outfit and gives it to Raftalia, and she's like, these are too nice of clothes for a slave. And Ren kneels down and taps her on her nose, doing like the whole button nose thing. It's like, we're gonna get this removed someday. We don't view you as property, little one. And, well, Taichi, it may be ready. So as they come back to like where the campfire, Raftalia sees Ariel, and she's like, "Oh, you have Master Taichi has other slaves?" And Ariel says, "I'm no slave. I have a contract with Master Taichi." And Raftalia is a little off put by all of this, and Taichi kind of walks over to her and kneels down and is like, here, little girl, drink this. It'll cure that cold that you have. Like that sickness. And she takes it and she goes, ew, this is disgusting. And Rin kind of laughs at this, and Taichi says, yeah, well, medicine doesn't always taste good. And then he turns to Ariel and he's like, can you heal some of her physical wounds a little bit? So through Rin and Taichi, after a while, like they shove like some fish and stuff into like Raftalia's face after hearing her stomach growl, and she's like, why are you two being nice to me? I'm just a useless slave. And Ren gets upset with this, and she's like, I told you, don't ever call yourself that. You're not useless, and you're not a slave in our eyes. We're going to get this 50 silver and get that dang crest removed from you. You're your own person. You deserve to live your own life. And Taichi, reiterates that too. And she's like, okay. So Raftalia is fed and cured and somewhat healed. With that, Ren begins to think, and he's looking through his shield, and he's like, Summoner Shield. Abilities. Able to summon contracted spirits. And Taichi is thinking, he's like, I wonder. Hey, Ariel, do you think it's possible I can summon Drake? She's like, I don't know if your contract with the others are still active, but mine is, as far as I can feel. So Taichi decides to go off in a quite a bit distance. He kind of uses his reinforcement magic and basically flies off to the other side of a mountain, and he says, Drake, come forth. And with that, a bright light is shown and kind of illuminates the night. People in surrounding lands are like, whoa. And then light strikes, and this two-headed dragon is standing there. He's like, Taichi, you summoned me. Well, what's going on? Wait, where am I? This isn't my world. Taichi basically explains to Drake, and in a few moments afterwards, Taichi kind of collapses. She's just like, whoa. Summoning you is so much more of a drain. And he's like, well, Taichi, it seems like your life would be in danger. Don't summon me unless you truly need it. And he's like, damn wind spirit, what are you? You're here too? And with that, Drake basically, evaporates in, a bright light, illuminating the area. So with this, in this series, Taichi will be able to summon all his contracted spirits. They are, in quotation marks, level 100. Like, Taichi is level 100. And some of you be like, the level 90, like, what was the level 90s and level 70s, you might ask. That, you beautiful souls, ghouls, and gals, is for the next video. And in this, Taichi and Rin are overpowered. Like, Rin is able to do all the magical abilities that she had in the other world. So is Rin. They're both able to utilize reinforcement magic. And Taichi has a shield called Summoner's Shield. This is going to allow him to summon contracted spirits he has. Ariel of her own fruition will be able to come, and Taichi doesn't have to expend mana to like actually summon her, unlike the others. So that being said, I hope you enjoy this series. This will be an ongoing one. This won't be a weekly one. This will probably be a bi-weekly or a monthly what if, like one episode a month kind of thing. So stay tuned to that. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And with that, I will see you beautiful gals and ghouls in the next video.